My darling Erica, until the day comes when I can talk to you in person once again, I will record these tapes as our journal of events. Without you, my darling, the loneliness is unbearable. But my will to go on is strengthened only by the hope that someday you will be back in my arms again. Your sister, Allison, seems to doubt the practicality of the cryonic procedure. But I assure you that...
Erica, my darling, Jean-Paul is determined to give you a life beyond the one that God has claimed. Please help me. Help me to convince him that it's impossible.
Allison, you're up early?
I've forgotten what it is to sleep.
Oh, please. Let me.
Thank you. It'll add some warmth to this dismal place.
Well, I'm afraid you'll be marooned for the moment. Quito went over to the mainland with the boat and can't get back. It's the high wind again, I'm afraid.
This Raxel told me all about Quito.
Oh?
And the reason for his sudden trip.
Quito goes in frequently to the mainland, every day as a matter of fact, for mail and supplies.
Yes. But today he had an extra load. I know all about Dr. Mencken. Jean-Paul, you and I have got to have a talk.
Very well. Would you care to sit down?
Thank you. Quite comfortable here. Now, how did he die?
Well, there'll be an autopsy and then we'll know for sure. It seemed that he fell on his way to the dock.
Raxel says he was pushed.
She wasn't there. I was. Now, Dr. Mencken was anxious to leave.
No more anxious than I am.
The way to the dock is steep and dangerous. And to one unfamiliar with it, it is especially so. I started after the doctor, but I was too late. He plunged head first down. Now, by the time I reached him, he was dead. I think he felt guilty about Erica's death.
Why should he feel guilty?
You're a doctor. Could he have saved her?
Well, eclampsia is very quick and unpredictable. I'm sure he did everything he could as a doctor to save her. It was God's will that she die.
Only Erica is not dead.
I don't know whether it's because you've changed so much, or whether it's this house, or this island, which is like some strange land from out of the past, but I just can't seem to control myself and cope. And I'm frightened. I've got to get away.
You're frightened of what?
Well, my sister, in a cryonics capsule, and her husband trying to keep her alive. And Raxel trying to convince me that you're possessed by some evil spirit.
Oh, no, surely you don't take that tale of Jacques Eloi Desmonts seriously. Or do you?
He's so amazingly like you. And you're so different from yourself that...
With Erica only temporarily gone, I just don't always have command of myself.
Well, I know, and that's what frightens me. Raxel is convinced this because of some evil spirit that has command of you. Miss your plane, Dad?
Oh. No, it hasn't taken off yet. It can't. Do you see the way it's blowing out there?
I can't be out there and earn a living in here. But as long as it's our weather that has you trapped, the least we can do is be hospitable. How about some of my local magic?
Levitation?
Libation.
Well, neither is my particular weakness. I'll have a sherry, please. Dry.
A real hard drinker.
To each his own. It's like you and these islands. Have you ever left them from the day you were born here?
Just for college? What's that look for? I'll have you understand, I had 5 years of it. I majored in parapsychology.
Sounds tougher than law.
And more interesting. So what do you care about my private life?
Well, if parapsychology is what I think it is, you should be able to figure that out for yourself.
I can't read your mind without my cards. Care to tell me?
Right now, I'm looking for some answers.
About Jean-Paul Desmond, no doubt.
You can read me without your cards.
What information could I possibly offer that you don't already have? You know him so much better than I.
Well, I thought I knew him better than anyone, but after the other night...
Not being present, I don't know what you mean.
Vanjie, have you heard the name Jacques Eloi de Monde?
What do you want to know about him?
Everything you know.
Drink up, you may need it.
That bad?
We're going on a little trip, and then we'll know.
Oh, good. Where?
Back about 300 years.
Well, I'm ready.
I will be. Come on. You asked about Jacques Eloi de Monde. Why?
I want answers, Vanjie, not questions.
Where did you hear that name?
I didn't hear it, I saw it. Attached to a very important document, legal ones.
Old ones?
Brand new.
He couldn't have signed those.
Jean-Paul Desmond did.
He was putting you on.
And if he was, I failed to see the joke. He was quite serious at the time, and actually I flew all the way down here just to get his signature on these.
Guess you'll have to wait for Quito now. He'll take either you or your papers back to Maljardin and have them properly signed.
I'm promised a 300-year-old trip, and it turns out to be a half-hour journey across the channel. Some magic.
Let's hope we can keep it that way. Even in memory, let Jacques Eloi de Monde remain dead. And because of what you've done, Raxel's convinced that you conjured up a ghost.
It's ridiculous.
Is it?
Suppose I were...
Suppose you were to what, Jean-Paul?
Be reasonable, Alison, dear. Suppose I were to accuse you of reincarnating my great niece, Louise Sophie, that rather glowering-looking damsel hanging there, or anyone else who departed these vales of tears for years, such as Etienne Desmondes, or Solange Desmondes, the rather hawk-nosed looking doxy on the wall, or any of the others of these denizens of ancestral portraits in this gallery, who have long since mouldered into dust. Now, you are accusing me of liberating one from his grave. Don't you think that's a bit ridiculous?
Probably.
Come on, Alison. Be reasonable. You're appalled because of what I did to Erica, because I believe that in the future she will be restored to life. You, a doctor, treat it as if it were witchcraft beyond belief, yet you listen to a primitive old servant woman babble along in an idiotic way. Now, Alison, you must be consistent.
I didn't say that I believed Raxel.
Then what?
You know, every time I see you, I realize more and more that you are two different people. And one is Jean-Paul, the man who married my sister, a little sadder, and since my sister's death, of course, but a man I've always admired and am fond of. And the other is...
Oh, that's better, that's better. I was hoping you would still continue to have a high regard
Oh, please,
for
now
me.
let me finish.
Of course. You were saying about the other. A man like...
Like the man I dreamed of. Like him.
Jacques! Why, you do believe in ghosts.
I certainly do not believe in ghosts. You have no idea how you've changed. I know that the shock of Erica's death has done something to you, but Jean-Paul, you've got to get away.
Never.
We've all got to get away from here.
I can't, at least, not just now.
Well, I'm going to. And I'm going to take Erica with me. Erica is dead. And I think she deserves a decent funeral service.
Funeral service. Of course, it's my fault. You see, I don't consider her dead. And because of that, I suppose I have been wrong in denying her God's protection. But don't you see, if I return her to him, then she is lost from me forever.
Jean-Paul, even in these few moments, you have been two different people.
Bravo. Bravo. You have handled it almost as well as I could. Excuse me, Alison. I have a sudden headache.
Not Jacques Eloi Desmondes. Are you sure you understand, Quito? Monsieur Desmond must put his own name to these. Perhaps I better go over there with you. What's he trying to say?
With the wind and heavy sea running so strong, he won't be able to get back to the island until possibly tomorrow.
Well, if the weather's that bad, I probably won't be able to get a plane out of here either. So I'll wait right here until he can get back.
Planes will be able to take off long before he can cross the channel.
Well, I'd like to see Allison before I leave.
Then I guess you're waiting until tomorrow.
Except I should have been back yesterday.
Then I guess you're not waiting.
Are you sure Quito can be trusted to do what's required?
As much as you can trust anyone. Quito, go and get something to eat. And be very careful with those papers. They're important. Mr. Forrest will not be going back with you. But how are you going to get the papers after they're signed?
Well, if Jean-Paul Desmond doesn't have enough sense to mail them, I'll resign. That's fine, Quito. Thank you very much for your help. Do you know, that phony signature still bothers me.
If it was phony.
But how could it not be?
Because Jacques Eloi Desmondes is a devil, and to some, they're considered eternal.
And to you?
All I will tell you of him is of his legend. He was put under the spell of witchcraft. A conjure doll was made, and a silver nail driven through his temple.
Why?
Because he was considered a murderer, and his sentence condemned him to eternal hell.
How do you happen to know so much about this, Vanjie?
Because my father was the Papaloi, the priest who pronounced the sentence.
Your father? But Jacques Eloi Desmondes lived 300 years ago.
My father is very old. But I am his youngest daughter.
First Jean-Paul puts me on, now you.
There are some things that are beyond the corporate mind. Pick a card. Don't turn it over until I tell you what it is.
All right, tell me.
The King of Swords.
Of what?
You would call it diamonds.
Well, that's parapsychology. You went to college to learn card tricks?
My father told me.
Told you or taught you?
The tarot pack. We're all here. That's you, the Knight of Clubs. Dr. Carr, the Ace of Cups. And me. Quito saw the airport bus. Your plane must be ready to go.
Well, I'm not sure that I should.
I'll be your listening post.
Thanks. I'll be in touch. Or who knows? I may be seeing you soon. Thank you, Quito. I appreciate it.
Quito? Of all the cards in the pack, what power made him choose the card of that devil, Jacques Elroy de Monde?